To your favorite show, most likely not. This week we have a loaded episode for you. We're going to talk about everything from unholy changes to some raid testing, some awesome bosses, some new weapons, some sick transmog gear, and much, much more. Without further ado, I'm your host, Dab, joined with the lovable, often imitated, rarely capitulated, Ro. Say hi, Ro.
Hello, good morning, evening, and afternoon. We have a special episode for you today, don't we, Dab?
It's so special we started late.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry about that. Traffic. So, do you want to start off here with some unholy changes and give people like the lowdown on what? Because that just, he's been saying forever, oh, I can't do class changes, can't do class changes. But finally, we got some unholy changes. You want to tell them about it?
Sure. I was reading over some of it, and it looks like they just kind of been rewording a lot of current abilities, but they've added a few, like the Apocalypse. That's the current Unholy Deathknight artifact ability.
Have you played Unholy yet on the beta?
I haven't. No, I haven't. But
Yeah.
it looks like they're making a pretty big change to Festering Strike. I believe it's going to be capping out a lot lower than it is on live. So that'll be a lot better for DPS wise.
So it's a cap out.
Yeah, like right now I think the cap is like 7 or 8 or something like that. So I think they're changing it to where it's not going to be that many. Because at the beginning of Legion, it was more of like an RNG thing to do good DPS.
Yeah. So overall, do you think the changes are positive that we've seen so far?
I don't know. It's hard to say because a lot of the changes are just like, from attack power or from like percentage to attack power, stuff like that. So I can't really say. I think the festering wound changes will be good though, and adding Apocalypse, it's gonna be like a staple for Unholy DKs to use.
And have they done any talent changes as of yet?
Uh, Other than like adding the Apocalypse.
And Apocalypse, is that currently your weapon ability?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, what I've looked over, I don't really see anything too
That's
crazy.
So what does Apocalypse do for those in the audience who aren't aware?
It summons minions. I think if you get 8 stacks of Festering Wound, you want to use it, so it'll summon 8 extra minions for you. It's basically like a mini Army of the Dead.
And are they adding that in as like a baked-in talent, or do you have to pick it?
I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to pick it.
And do you think it's going to be the default choice?
Yeah.
Do you know what row it's going on?
I don't.
I don't know if they have that available yet in the talent calculator.
Yeah, I know they're adding another artifact ability called Sudden Doom.
Okay.
It's for your or Inevitable Doom. So yeah, so the Sudden Doom now triggers 15% more often and stacks up to 2 times. So that's going to be pretty good to have available. And that would be on the tier 2 talent.
Interesting. So do you think in BFA, so right now, do more people play Frost or Unholy?
I don't know. I think
which do you think?
I've seen more Frost DKs right now.
Do you think that in BFA, with the Unholy keeping the thing and maybe Frost losing it, do you think that we're going to be seeing Unholy take more of a center stage role in DK meta?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think people play Frost DK right now because it's a little bit easier to play, and I think their damage is a little bit better. So it all depends.
Okay, interesting. Is there any other changes that you really wanted to talk about for this?
They changed the wording for Army of the Dead.
How did they change it?
Let's see, let me find it. Okay, it says here So here's, I think this is the old one. Summons a legion of ghouls over 4 seconds who will fight for you for 40 seconds, swarming the area. And this one says, who swarms your enemies fighting anything they can for 30 seconds. And they changed it from a 10-minute cooldown to an 8-minute cooldown, which I don't really understand why they did that. It's 8 minutes is still really fucking long.
That's still, you're still only going to get it up once. But you know what? It's probably so you can get it up at the start and on an execute too, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Because with 10 minutes, like there's like one fight where you do it. 8 minutes, you can probably do it on most fights, at least during progression.
I think 8 minutes. That's gonna be like end boss fight, I think.
Yeah, there were a few bosses in Entorse that took 8 minutes to win the end boss. Like Coven takes 8 minutes, I think. So do it right. I guess it depends on your DPS and how long your group's been doing it for. I don't know. I think it's maybe to try to have it fit at least for a double pop on more bosses than it does now. Because with 10 minutes, what boss can you get it off on? Maybe Argus.
They're pretty much just popping it once per fight, and I feel like the 8-minute it's gonna be the same thing. So, in Tomb they had the Unholy set to where when you spend a rune, it reduces your Army of the Dead cooldown by so much. So you'd be able to get it off twice during one fight, which I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for that.
It seems more interesting. It seems like more interesting gameplay than just like reducing it flatly by by only 8 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just whatever, I guess.
So, what isn't whatever, I guess?
What's
It's
that?
very important and crazy. Thoros. Thoros, the Blighted Lands. Have you heard about this one, bro?
I haven't even gone to it in game or anything.
Yeah, I think it's like a higher level scenario, and it's a scenario, and essentially you go with Jaina to explore this blighted land, and you sort of delve deeper in, and you actually find her in here. I think it seems interesting.
What do you mean find her? Like she was lost?
Yeah, she's like I think she was exploring it by herself, and you're there to join her.
But this is after you go to do the scenario and shit.
This is way after. I think this might be closer to end game.
Okay, so this might be like something like the burning. What was it? The Burning Isles or whatever the hell.
Shore? No, not that far off. I think it would probably be still be in like the first patch. Basically, like she bounces after you guys land in Kul Tiran, right? So like for most leveling, she's not there, and then like later on, you end up going to search for in these blighted lands. It's I'm not 100% sure about this. This probably is going to have something to do with the plague or whatever, the blight, given the name, the blighted lands that the Sylvanas used. I'm figuring maybe there'll be like stuff here about that too. I'm not 100% sure though. So I don't know. But do you know what I do know a lot about? The Uldir Raid.
Have you had a chance to test it?
No, I didn't get onto the testing. I missed the bulletin or whatever on Wowhead about the testing coming up, so I didn't get a chance to test it. But I have been doing a lot of like looking at it, and there's some pretty cool stuff. So we previously gotten some of the sets for it, and we're gonna show you some more of them. But let's show the bosses they've tested so far. So they've tested Zul, which we've talked about before on the show, and Talak. I don't think we talked about Talak before by name. We had actually talked about his model though. It's the corrupted Titan Guardian model.
Yeah, it's this big old Hulk dude, right?
Yeah. So we what we thought was just red Titan energy, just blood magic. So that's nice. And basically he floods the room with like a bunch of blood, and then he slowly starts to absorb the blood on the ground. So that's why we saw a lot of swimming animations for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're probably going to be. I think we float on stuff. I don't think we actually I don't think we're always wading through the blood. talked about Zul
the
before.
blood does a constant dot to you then? Is that what it does?
Yeah, something like that. But we'd actually talked about the other guy Zul before. He's one of the people who save in the Stormwind Stockades, and he's gonna have 2 phases as well. This guy has a 60% phase where he like reclaims the ground. Some other bosses who we've looked at. We also learned about. We have Tilok. We also have Sekvoz, Herald of Nazoth. He was the more insectoid one.
Yeah, he looks like the big old insect, that faceless looking thing.
He's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more of a tanking spec type boss, but he is gonna have summons. We have pictures. We don't have pictures for them, but we have the names of Mithraxi on Raveler. He's actually from the Vol'dun questing experience. We have Vectis, who we don't know a ton about at the moment, but he appears to be like he appears to be like basically coagulated blood from Cthulhu that has sort of like been animated and is running around.
Just wreaking havoc on everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then we have Cthulhu, who is the bloodworm guy. But you know what's more interesting than any of that? The transmog we get from it, or transmog in general. We learned about the fact that if you transmog your artifact weapon, you're actually going to be able to, let's say that you have like the knife from Shadow, or if you have the staff or the skull from various classes and specs, you're going to still be able to hear their whispers with certain boss events if you have the weapon transmog. So like I know Il'gynoth, your shadow weapon talks if you're near Il'gynoth, and there's a few other places. What I'm wondering is, are we going to get new voice lines for these? Do you think?
No, I think these are bugs.
Really? So you don't think it's supposed to do that?
I don't think it is. So you're supposed to have the weapon equipped for it to talk to you, but they have it transmogged, right? So it's like, yeah, I definitely think it's a bug, and I don't think it'll make it into the final cut or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it. I don't know if. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if it's. It might be a bug, but I don't know if they're gonna remove it.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying.
It's not high on the priority.
Yeah, it's not high in the priority. Also, I think they might like. I think people might like it, and I don't think they're necessarily gonna want to fight that.
I mean, why would they? I don't know. They've ever had the whole fucking weapon, the entire expansion. I'm sure they've heard everything the weapon has to say. So
yeah,
I think it's a bug, and I don't think it'll be in the game. I mean, what did people think like this was supposed to mean?
well, of course, there's the people who like theory craft, and they're saying like, oh, it's you know, this is like going to tell us something. I don't know about that. You know, I'm a little bit skeptical. I don't think they're going to remove it though.
I don't know. I think they might remove it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I actually wasn't able to transmog my weapon in the beta. I was trying to transmog a weapon to the fist weapons, and it wouldn't let me do it for some reason. Interestingly enough, it gave me the option to for my monk. So I'm kind of wondering if that's maybe if it just gives that option to everyone, or if it gives me that option because I unlocked the monk transmog on my other character. It probably gives that option to everyone. But,
Yeah, I had the option to transmog my weapon to the artifact one on my warlock, but
did it work?
well, I was using a two-hander, and the only option was the demonology one at the time. So
were you in demonology spec?
no, it was an affliction. But it
Weird.
doesn't matter anymore because if you can dual wield, because you're getting rid of your artifact weapons.
Yeah.
But I think maybe if I switched over to demonology, I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. God. Did Ro, did you know you have a reputation? Do you know what you have a reputation for?
Being awesome.
Having the sexiest voices on the airwaves. I've heard that from like 20 people. I'm not lying to you. I'm lying to you. Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of reputations, we actually got a ton of reputation rewards. We got some new tabards, so let's look at those first. I think some of these look really awesome. The new alliance is called the 7th Legion Tabard. It's basically an alliance tabard. I love it. It's wicked gold and liony. You also have the Storm Wake Tabard, which is cool. The Tabard of the Order of Embers, we talked about that before. That's probably what you're going to get from being a Dark Iron Dwarf. We had the Proudmoore Tabard that looks pretty cool. It's green. Definitely fits the whole sea thing. We have a Horde Tabard.
I like that. The Honor Bound Tabard. That one's really cool.
Yeah, that one. It's honestly the Horde Tabards we had. I didn't really like them a ton. I didn't think they looked that good, but this is definitely cool. Of course, it's not on an orc, so it doesn't look right, but still.
Yeah.
We also have the Talajin Expedition Tabard, which I think you're probably going to get as an alliance. The Talajin, I think, are the faction in Vol'dun, the alliance. They're going to be buddy with. You have the Valdene Tabard. That's going to be the Valpiran. Then you have this one, the Champion of the Azeroth Tabard. I'm wondering where this is going to come from. Kind of reminds me of Magni Bronzebeard, in fact, a ton. I'm thinking maybe it's going to be like a Lightbringer kind of thing where you have to do a quest line for it.
Yeah, wasn't it Lightbringer thing, or you had to get a drop off the Lich King or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. This one says it's you get it from being exalted with the champions of the Azeroth, but I'm wondering how we actually get that tabard. I guess this is a neutral faction. Another neutral faction we have are the Turtle Seekers. Okay, let's just call them by what they are, which is the Turtle faction. Which a lot of people have been talking about those being an allied race. Would you like to see that, bro?
Turtles?
Yeah, they're Toltean.
I don't know how that would fit in with the game.
They're already a race.
They're a race right now?
Next expansion.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like a sea-bearing expansion, right? I'm thinking you guys, the Lions gets turtles and Horde gets the walrus people from Wrath.
No, man, I want the walrus people.
Well, that's too bad. You're gonna get turtles.
No, you guys can get the turtles. I'll get the walrus and be
I don't want the
Deathknight
Tortellini
walrus
faction. Anyway, those apparently are going to be neutral, and you're going to be able to get a Seeker's tab from, which hopefully means we're also going to get a turtle mount. That'd be cool. Well, I guess it'd be kind of awkward.
Yeah.
Speaking about reputation mounts, or reputation in general, we also have reputation mounts. We talked about some of these, or actually most of these, previously in the show. We have the Hyena, which is going to be confirmed a exalted mount for the Valpiran. We have the Chenji Expedition, which I think
this is that weird looking bug, dude.
We said that was probably going to be one, and we were right. So the Tenji Expedition does look like it is. Let's see here. That's going to be Horde. So that mount's going to be Horde. Or you'd assume, because that's where the tabard is from. So you have all the Zandalari mounts. You have a bunch of pterodactyls. Those are wicked cool. But do we get a pterodactyl mount in Throne of Thunder, or do we just see them?
No, well, you get that one that's a Skybreaker that sort of looks like this. It looks like a beefier version of one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but,
honestly, these are some of the coolest mounts that come out of it.
Yeah.
But Lions players shouldn't get too mad because you guys are going to get some cool new Griffin models as well as some horses. So the Proudmoore have horses.
Oh yeah, this horse just looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the white one. I'm a fan. This is their new horse model. We had seen it before, but this is the first time it's been confirmed to be a mount. I also really like the new Griffin. It reminds me of the one that you could get in Mist of Pandaria. If you remember that one from
Yeah,
the
I'm a fan of the
wall
new
fence.
Griffins. I think they just need to go back and redo all the old Griffins.
Mm-hmm.
Same with
Yeah,
same with the
I don't
Horde.
think they're. Yeah, I don't think they're going to, but it does appear that as though you can get a new one here in a few different color schemes you didn't have before. You know.
Yeah, I like this one though. This black one here.
Mhm. We also, we it's nice to see there's a ton of mounts this expansion. I mean, we're only in beta, and yet we have so many mounts that we've seen so far, right?
Yeah, I might hit my 300 mount mark this next
Oh, yeah,
expansion.
totally. They're probably gonna add a new one of those with how many they're adding. But a lot of the mounts at the beginning is from dungeons. We actually have some new dungeons that we have here. First one is Waycrest Manor, and this is I think it is in Burlaus or the whole Kul Tiran area.
No,
And this
the
place,
Waycrest Manor that's in Dustfar.
Dustfar. I can't what do you call it? Figure out between the two. And the kind of magic that some of these bosses are using is some also stuff that we're going to see in the Blighted Land. I think the Blighted Land has something to do with witches too. Let's just look at some of these screenshots. Have you got a chance to play this one yet? Was available.
I haven't. The thing is, I got a level, and you
Oh
know
yeah,
how I am with leveling.
slow. Actually,
Yeah.
I learned something interesting. I made a Magar Orc, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't find a quest. So I'm like, I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, Magar Orcs apparently sometimes the quests just don't work for them. So I have to start a non-Magar Orc character and actually properly do leveling.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, of course. But this place does some awesome stuff. We actually get to see the zombie pigs that we had seen before. This appears to be their place.
Yeah, this
Where
big
they
old zombie
originated.
pig guy right here.
There's also smaller ones. This place just looks awesome.
Yeah, it
A few
does. It
bosses.
looks like a better version of Black Cold, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think I'll actually do this one instead of Black or Cold.
I mean, Black Cold's not that bad. Come on.
We have a few bosses. We have the Heartsbane Triad, and this is going to be 3 bosses, like a council fight. You have Sister Briar, Sister Milady, and Sister Solelina. I don't speak witch, but they're all a bunch of witches, and they look pretty similar. Then you have one of these, the Soulbound Goliath. This is one of those huge wicker guys. And then we actually saw this model before. We saw the Rail the Gluttonous, and he's a big pig guy. And then you have Lord and Lady Waycrest and their zombies. And then the last boss, and this might be a mythic only boss or a heroic only boss, given that just the way it is, it's Gorok Tall. And he seems to be the guy who's sort of like the spawn of all this witchy magic.
So he's the one that's kind of holding the power?
Yeah.
Yeah, this place. I've been a big fan of Dustfar so far, and this.
Yeah, it totally seems to have the whole vibe of Dustfar too, I think.
Yeah, they got a. Yeah, they definitely got a big old creepy vibe to it.
And I'm really getting like almost Court of Stars kind of idea from this, in the sense you have indoors, outdoors, indoors, and like actually very varied area. Because like you go into this gold keep, and then you go outside to fight this one guy, and you get to go back in. I've always been a fan of that sort of dungeon design. It makes it feel much more lively, I guess.
Yeah, and like to flow, the dungeons that we're used to are all linear, but Corner Stars you can just like kind of go every which way, so that's kind of nice too.
Yeah, this one.
I'd like to see them have more of that in dungeons.
Yeah. We actually got, speaking about dungeons, we have the Siege of Burlaus and the King's Rest have both been opened up for the BFA testing. I actually, I did do which one did I do? I think I did Siege of Burlaus, and it was fun. It was a ton of fun.
How was it?
And it was a good time. So basically, this just gives us the bosses if you didn't already know them. You have Chopper, Red Hook, Sergeant, Bane yeah, Bainbridge, Dread Captain Lockwood, Hedel, Doc Phantom, and Vic Goth. Then the other one, the Golden Serpent, Nikimba, the Embalmer, the Council of Tribes, and Dazar, the First King. And we did learn that the King's Rest is going to be where we're going to find the mummy wrap and the mummified raptor skull. So honestly, all the dungeons so far look awesome.
Yeah. You know, the one I've ran to it was pretty cool.
And you're doing the dungeon. It looks awesome inside, but when you come out, you know what you look like?
Beat up.
No,
look like a noob.
You also look awesome because we have some sick transmog from these dungeons. Like honestly, I'm not even being like. I know I over exaggerate sometimes. It's a habit. I'll be like, this is the best thing since the best thing. This is really some of the best dungeon transmog I've seen. So we have the leather set.
I don't know about this
like
set here. It's just
this is going to be the dungeon sets basically.
I do remember. I do recall you trading somebody 10,000 gold for having a set similar to this. So
I like it. I really like it. Like the leather set, it's just what I want. It's downplayed. It's not crazy, but it's still cool. No.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent set, but I don't think it's like something crazy or awesome looking. I'm not saying I don't like it. I don't think it's like. Yeah, I think I like the cloth one better.
We also have the mail set here. I think the mail helm, it looks okay. It's kind of weird, but those shoulders are badass.
Yeah, I like this set here. They're not trying to do too much. I love those
shoulders. Like the rest of the set, okay, but those shoulders are awesome. I could do so much with those shoulders on a male character. That's a male set, by the way, from the dungeon.
Yeah.
I wonder, you probably be able to get this as live.
Probably won't say what?
You probably will be able to get it as alliance if you do the Zandalar dungeons. I would assume. I'd hope.
Yeah, I think you'd be able to get it. I mean, that'd make the most sense.
And these are thumbnail worthy, if I can say so myself.
Thumbnail worthy?
I expect these in the video thumbnail, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like these are.
Okay.
Bite a piece of that off.
Well, which one do you like better, the leather or the mail?
If I'm being honest, can I be honest here?
Sure. This is a judgment-free space.
Probably the mail, just because I feel like I'd use those shoulders more. I think the leather is an overall better set. But for my eyes, I think the mail brings more interesting pieces. Like those boots are awesome. Like the mail is stuff where like I would use those pieces in other transmogs like 20 times more. But as far as like a full set, I think the leather is a better full set. But I think the mail is better pieces. But
interesting.
Who really cares about armor transmog?
What do you mean, right? Like a chest piece or something like that?
Who really cares about armor in general? What it's all about is those sick weapons. And we have those and more. We have some. You want to say this for me, Ro? Rastakana, huh?
Rastakan?
Okay, fuck you. We have Rastakan's knives. I think these look really cool. They're kind of a Zandalari-like design to them. Some of the color schemes are kind of weird.
They look very blood magic-y, don't they?
Yeah. It's very interesting to have like the curved with the straight. We also have this awesome staff. I'm hoping that we can get this. This is it's Azara's weapon. I'm hoping that we get a hold of this because this is an awesome staff.
Yeah. Well, now maybe we will be able to wield it since getting rid of the artifact and weapon drops coming back. So
yeah.
It does look pretty cool. Like I want that on my warlock.
Yeah, no, me too. Especially, I can even think of the set. I could think of the set right now that I would used on my priest.
I just used the butt naked set with only the staff.
Fuck no. We also have some pirate hooks, and I'm hoping these are fist weapons and not just like a cosmetic item that NPCs can use. Wouldn't this make a cool fist weapon?
Yeah, but hopefully it's maybe it will classify as a sword, so my Death Knight can use it.
No, this won't classify as a sword.
How do you know?
Because it won't.
That's sound reasoning, Dab.
We also have a cockapoo. It's a type of bird.
A what?
A cockapoo. It's a bird. It's a green bird. Okay. And this one actually looks kind of cool. I'm hoping it's gonna be a pet.
Yeah, I think it is gonna be like on some sort of boss. What's that guy? Skyreach? Doesn't he have a parrot on his shoulder?
No, but he has a big parrot.
Oh.
Doesn't he?
I'm not too sure. Well, he's riding a big
know.
parrot, but I'm pretty sure he has a parrot on his shoulder too.
It could be. We also have basically a monkey skeleton crew and a myriad of color schemes. So we have the captain, we have the pirate. These are kind of weird.
The monkey skeletons? Yeah.
Yeah.
They are a bit weird, aren't they? What's the deal with like their different color skeletons?
I think that's just like they usually do that when they make like these, especially because it's in beta. They probably make like 10 of them of different color schemes. Like they're probably not that hard to recolor, and then they just see which ones people like.
I like the old-fashioned white bones.
Yeah, white or yellow works for me.
Yeah.
Or black even works a little bit, like the gray ones.
Look a little aged, been in the tombs for a while.
You also have the bat cloud, what they're calling. Basically just a bat. And honestly, my favorite thing in BFA, the reason why I'd buy the game, we have some new crabs. Have you ever got crabs, though?
No, I've never had crabs before.
That's good.
Have you ever had crabs?
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway.
So is that confirmed crabs?
Anyway, we have some different crabs, and they do hail to a certain faction. So you have alliance, horde, and then if you're the last one is if you are like a level 0 panda or whatever, and you have no faction yet.
No, obviously this one is for like the Bloodsail Admirals kind of factions,
No. That does not say it here. It says it somewhere else.
Oh, okay. I like the guy that doesn't have a sword or the shield because he has the booze bottle.
Yeah. No, I like it too. I wish you could select it. Actually gets a pirate hat instead of just, vague helmets.
Yeah, it's like a can. It's like they cut up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about these guys, or
No,
are you supposed to get them somewhere?
Yeah. I think they're gonna be. We don't know, but I'm assuming they're gonna be like a rare drop or something. And you probably will only drop one of them, and then that will be like a battle pet, and it changes based on what faction you summon it on. That's my guess.
Yeah, I could care less about a battle pet, but I just want him to have him summon.
Yeah. They already have a crab. Oh, there's a way you get like a toy to give crabs knives. If you didn't know that, BFA. I mean, in the current game, Mr. Crab.
You can get a crab similar to this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No. You can get a normal crab and you can give it a knife.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'll have to go and try and get that then.
Oh, I can show you where. It's really easy.
All right then.
Now, it's not easy.
What's not easy?
Yeah, do you know what's not easy?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's not easy. Do
you know what's not easy that pertains to the show?
Is it, what?
It's being a song and dance man. And there was a person at the Talents Contest who wasn't just a song and dance man, he was the song and dance man, Jay. and he's been immortalized in BFA as a bard, a Tavern Bard.
Jay the Tavern Bard, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This guy's in Burlaus?
He is in Burlaus. Haven't seen him yet. I actually haven't looked around about Burlaus that much. I probably should. You can go there, find him in Burlaus. He'll play you a little ditty.
Does he actually play the song and stuff?
Yep.
I haven't. I have to go check it out then, I guess. I haven't seen him in there.
But we have some other sort of interesting looking NPCs in Burlaus. We have Colonel Tenders, who's obviously a Colonel Sanders rip-off guy. If you don't know, from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I wonder if he has a secret recipe, the secret sauce.
I'm sure he has a secret sauce for you, Dab. It might be after might go in the back alley or something like that, you know, but
it's interesting.
I'm sure he can produce it for you.
I don't know. It's interesting to see the tuxedo actually on like one of the bigger people. It almost looks like it has a little belly bulge.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I really wish my DK could be one of these Kul Tirans because I would totally make one of these guys.
I think it fits DK.
It does.
But it doesn't fit the lore.
It looks just like me.
That's funny. You know, actually, this guy kind of looks like me a little bit. You have Doc Martens, obviously a joke to the shoes. He's a styling man. It looks good. I don't really get why they made Doc Martens, but they did.
I mean, you can't be traveling around with no style, Dab. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's basically me in real life, except for the haircut.
Basically you in real life, huh?
Yeah. You know, tall, dark, and not that handsome.
Are you dark though? I thought you're like on the whiter side.
I am, but you know, do you have to really break down everything I do?
Hey, I'm just trying to get the facts right here, okay?
That's okay. I understand. Okay. You know, Burlaus isn't the only city that had some changes to it. Zuldazar also has some new changes, new things. So we can actually take a ride on the big Brutosaurs now, and they'll take you around.
They circle around the city and just hop on them.
Yeah.
So are they gonna be a mount that you can get?
Yeah, we knew that before. That they're gonna be the new repair mount eventually. It might not be right at the start though. We also have several dinosaurs roaming around, some hippopotami, some new architecture.
Yeah, I mean, what is the deal with the trolls putting like helmets on their dinosaurs and shit like that?
They always do that. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
To protect them.
I mean, the T-Rex is the perfect natural predator, and they're just ruining it because he can't get his jaw open anymore. All the way to. Nah, man. They made husks for him, and he can't get all the way down. You know what they should have done is they should have added like arm extenders for him.
Yeah, that would be a good invention. I'll talk to the guy.
Yeah, they just need to get this shit right.
God. But yeah, no. I think both cities are looking really lively now. If I'm being honest, we've talked about this before in the show. Despite my allegiances, I kind of like Burlaus more. So
have you had a chance to run around Zuldar a little bit?
I have. It's a nice city from the inside. The problem is everything. It's a big city, but everything's condensed into a small area. In the area that you actually are going to be using, you know, where the auction and where the bank is and where the inn is, that's like probably about as big as maybe. Do you remember the capital cities in Mr. Pandaria? Yep. That's about the usable or like the space they're actually going to use in Zuldazar, which is nice because it means like you don't have to go very far. And the city is fast. It's just there's not a ton of usable space or space that people are actually going to use unless you're an RP or something. Because like how often do you go into the city to get bread or something?
Never, man. You got mages to give you that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know about Burlaus because I haven't spent a lot of time in there. But is stuff spread around? Like, is the bank close to the inn and everything, or is stuff spread around?
I think stuff spread around quite a bit. Like
Oh,
I haven't even found a bank yet.
yeah.
So-
I don't know. I guess so. If you look at like other cities, other capital cities, like let's say Stormwind, everything is pretty close in Stormwind. Like you could the only area that you need in Stormwind is the trade district because it has your bank, it has your auction house, it has your inn. So it is.
yeah.
I guess it isn't out of form to have everything so close together. It just feels like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm gonna explore Xanthazar that much when I'm actually playing the game.
So what you're saying is that you like Burlaus better than similar.
If you twist my arm, yeah,
Okay. But I mean, at least you guys got hippos in there, so that's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, we can. You know, it's okay. It's what it is. It's what it is. But you know what's new and what I don't have to argue about, and like what people are going to get mad at me for liking. Because there are people who I know who probably would be mad at me for liking Burlaus more than Xanthazar. But you know
Really?
what people won't get mad at me about? Yeah, probably the new spell animations. You seen these? Um, Agony and Shadow Bolt, and then you also have Fire Blood.
Yeah. So on my warlock, I noticed they added one for the Shadow Bolt, which I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
like that new one or not. I almost
Really?
like the old school one with the skull coming out and it had the tail.
I almost wish that there'd be a setting to like revert. Because there's a setting to go back to the old models, right? Like if you didn't know that, it's in interface or something, and you can go back to the um, pre WAD models for the model change. But I wonder if there'll be a setting to go back to the old spells. Look at Fireblood too, unless you already did.
Yeah. I mean, basically it's just better, like a better version of stone form.
Yeah, and it looks cool too.
Yeah, and I think it almost has like the same effect, except for maybe a little something else, like another couple things added onto it. But it removes your poisons and stuff like that.
Do you know what does more than just looks cool? The Druid travel forms now being separate buttons in BFA.
The Druid travel forms, huh? They're new
Yeah,
spells, aren't they?
yeah, they're now separate spells, and I think don't quote me on this. I think it has something to do with macros.
What do you mean macros?
Like so that make it with macros better. I don't know. I don't really know why they did it. Oh, you know what it is? Actually, I can tell you exactly why, and it's in the next. It's the next thing. It's for glyphs. Yeah. So they added a number of glyphs, and to allow them to affect specific ones, as they turn into different buttons.
What? So I thought they're already spells, aren't they?
No, yeah, they're already spells, but they're you don't can't access them in the spell book. You have to like there's a general. It's like teleport, right? You know, a teleport. It has a button. It has a spell for like old teleports, and you click on it, and it opens up a little window with options. It's like that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Uh, all right. So I don't understand why they did that. Then it's, I mean, basically they're doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's it's just for the glyphs. I think the glyphs are right under there. So we're getting glyph of the dolphin, glyph of the humble flyer, and glyph of the tide skipper.
Do they have any pictures for these?
Might be on a later article.
Hmm.
But you know what they do have pictures for?
What's
the
that?
Warfront world bosses. So those huge war machines that we had seen earlier are actually going to be the Warfront war bosses, the world bosses. The Lion's Roar, which the Lion's Roar is going to be the Alliance one, of course. And then we have the Doom's Howl, and they're basically world bosses that are going to fight for the other faction. Other than that, we also have the Hailstone Construct, the Winged Typhoon, Warbringer Yazroth, that's in Kul Tiran. Then we have Tazane, Jirak, and Dune Gorger Karalok. And I think they're each going to be in different zones. So there's going to be several different world bosses here. And I'm wondering how good the loot they're going to give is. If they're going to try to update them to make them continuously relevant, or do what they did in Legion, where they just kind of let them fade away.
So the war fronts are the things that are in different zones, right?
Yeah. So
are they going to have
world bosses?
Yeah, they're going to have world. Each one's going to have their own world boss.
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I guess that's worth doing too.
Yeah. And then,
do you know how they like decide which one's where?
Wait, do you mean for the? No, it's just based off the actual thing. So they're only going to be in one specific place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like the Dune Gorger is going to be in Vol'dun, right? Because it's Dune Gorger, and I don't know where the rest are specifically. Might say.
Well, I'm looking forward to that then.
Yeah, and about Warfronts, we also got the Warfronts weapons. We'd seen the some of the armor, but we actually have the weapons now, and I think they look really cool. You know, we have a knife and a carrying thing here. We also have an awesome staff, of course, Lion's Blue. Then for Horde, we have a little dagger and carrying skull, and another staff.
Yeah, I like that, carrying that skull around. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then let's see, we have the leather one. We got a lot of options for leather. Noticeably, no glaives. No, none. Actually, I think the first ones are supposed to be glaives, but they're kind of like fist weapons. And then I think the hammer looks really awesome.
Yeah, it looks very like Holy Paladin right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then mail, obviously you have the shield and mace, as well as an awesome looking bow. The plate weapons are again an awesome hammer and stuff. I think all the weapons look really cool.
Yeah, and are these the armors you're gonna get with it too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think those might be the tier 1s.
Yeah, that's what it sort of looks like.
So they're going to look more. I didn't actually see the leather set before this. I didn't know how cool it was. Or maybe not all tier 1. I think it might just be random. But like, I think those are the sets. I hadn't seen the leather one, so I think it looks really cool, especially the Alliance one.
Yeah, those do look like the war glaives.
And let's cut the crap. We know what people really like, what people really care about. No one cares about Warfront weapons. They want the Pepes.
Yeah.
A tiny.
What is this thing? I don't know. What?
You don't know the Pepe?
I know what the Pepe, but like, what is this thing? Where are we gonna get it? Do you know anything about this?
Tiny diving. No. It's just they discovered that it existed, and people are happy about it because you get to put a little tiny diving element on your Pepe.
Why do you need a helmet for your Pepe? Are we going underwater? Is there gonna be an underwater zone?
Maybe it's just that Pepe wants a diving helmet. So it's cute, okay, Ro? It's because it looks cute.
Oh, okay.
But you know what isn't cute, Ro?
What's that?
Zanzalzar, the city that I might not be the biggest fan of, is possibly going to be a raid. It's what Wowhead is saying. It's what a lot of people are speculating. And it's just because we have like the mini map. There's a ton of area that you really can't explore. So it's like people are saying that might be a raid, or there might be instance content inside of it, kind of like how Burlaus has one.
So are they saying this whole thing right here is going to be a raid?
It's probably gonna be instance off. Here's why I think this is gonna happen. During the Horde experience, spoilers alert, maybe. There's this general who you deal with, and he's hunched and he's not very good, and he sends an assassin after you. And this general is for sure bad. He's bad news bears. So I'm thinking maybe he I haven't done all these 6 wars, so maybe we get rid of him. But maybe he takes over the city, and we have to free the city from him. I think that'd be fun. It definitely fill up a slot for a raid because they need, they need some stuff for raids because they really don't have a ton locked down at the moment.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're working on something, just probably keeping it tight-lipped.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that it's gonna be more of something like Siege of Orgrimmar kind of deal?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe smaller than that because that was a huge raid. Probably a mid raid, so probably wouldn't be that many bosses. But it is confirmed. The Nazjatar Blood Serpent. If you liked the Whittler's Mindworm, if you liked the Abyssal Depths one, the one that you get from Mistress, you're gonna like this. It's basically the same thing in red. It's gonna be looks like it's gonna be a boss drop from Nazoth. So that's just a boom bam bosh quick one there. But what isn't a quick one, Ro? The details we got on the war mode. We got so much about this. So basically, it's gonna give you honor talents, which we knew. It's gonna do gear scaling, which basically it's gonna set everyone to a decent eye levels for them to do questing and stuff. Except you're just gonna be at that gear scaled level, so it might be beneficial to put war mode on if you don't have as good gear, for leveling or something.
So what do you mean? I turn on war mode and I'm a level.
Let's say your eye level. Let's say your eye level is 200 or something, or let's say some low. Let's say your eye level is 250. Okay, it might. We don't know what those set points are going to be, but let's say you're your level. Let's say you're level. Let's say you're only 260 and you're level 120. It might set everyone to level 200 eye level wise and boost your gear about that. And then if you're above eye level 200, it will then give you extra points for however many levels above you are. So but it's going to do that now for the World PvP too. You're also going to be getting conquest points, and you will have a bounty hunter feature similar to what it was in WoD if you did that. I'm not saying you did because not many people did.
What is bounty?
It's basically you can earn conquest points from killing specific members of a certain faction. It's
killing NPCs?
No, killing people.
Okay.
Who are in war mode. So it'll be like Tab Eevee is now a bounty. Then everyone go hunt him down.
Does it pop up on your map?
Yeah, I think it will pop up on your map. It will tell people, and you will know. And it's basically it'll appear on the map, and it will basically be everyone is after you. And the first people to get you and kill you will get some points, and then you'll probably get a reprieve afterward after you get killed once.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. The thing is, with World PvP right now, it's horrible because tanks are kings. So hopefully they can fix that.
They're trying to do stuff the gear scaling should help with that because currently in World PvP it's just whatever your eye level is. But with the gear scaling, it should make people more uniform and decrease the amount of difference in between a high eye level player and a low eye level player.
Yeah, but the thing is it's tanks. They take a lot of reduced damage, but they do so much more damage nowadays than they used to.
Yeah, I think they're gonna work to not have that be a thing.
So if they're putting bounties in, hopefully they, they're taking the proper steps to balance out World PvP.
But yeah, I'm not sure about this. I'm gonna try war mode. I don't really do PvP normally, But war mode might actually be what it takes for me to get into PvP. I'm definitely going to try it. I never wanted to be on a PvP server, right? But, war mode is a little bit different.
Well, there's no PvP server now anymore.
You know what I mean. I'm saying I guess up until this point, I've never done PvP servers. War mode might be the thing to make me at least try the PvP thing because I don't have to commit to a PvP server.
Yeah.
How often have you ever rode a motorcycle, Ro?
No.
I have one time. It didn't go well. And do you know what else won't go well if you like mount it while it's riding very quickly close to a cliff?
The Kul Tiran travel form?
For once he got it. Okay, yes. I have a friend. I do this all the time. Like, do you know in between E and R, like in between the portal to E and R and like the door where it demounts you? Do you know that like stretch of land where you can mount up?
Yeah.
I don't. What I do is I have a friend who runs in front of me. I do this to him every week and he gets pissed. He's a druid, right? He'll run a little bit in front of me. Then I'll life grip him back to me and then mount him up. Because when I life grip him, it doesn't take him out of travel form. So I pull him back to ride him. And he always tries to drive me off the cliff. But, that's besides the point. It's a dangerous game. But we have the druid travel form. I actually really like these. My favorite's probably green. Because I don't know. I think that works. The face looks a little bit weird, but I think they might still be a work in progress. What do you think of these?
I like these a lot.
They definitely fit, and I think the antlers are really cool.
Got the whole wicker vibe still going.
Yeah, it was really interesting, the wicker thing. Like, I wasn't really sure about it at first, but they nailed it. Because I think they could have phoned it in, right, with the wicker thing, but I think they really nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I like the whole wicker druid kind of deal. The only thing I don't really like about the wicker druid is the bear form.
I think the bear form. I like the bear form. I think I like the cat form more, but I like the bear form just as much. Do you know what I like even more than the wicker?
Even more than the wicker.
It's hard. Real hard. You know what I like even more than the wicker?
What's that?
Random Battle for Azeroth assets. Like we have icons and name loadings. Okay, I don't like them more than the wicker, but some of these loading screens are really cool. We have a burning Burlaus. That's probably for Siege Burlaus, I'd assume.
Yeah,
Then we have one that I think is for a Vol'dun dungeon, given the snakes. I think this is probably the dungeon where we summon. Of course, I'm guessing it says right here. It's for the Serpentine Tunnels, which is going to be a Vol'dun dungeon most likely. We also have a ton of icons. We have the wicker icon for the mount. We also have an alpaca icon.
Oh yeah, awesome. There we go.
I'm hoping for an alpaca mount. We don't know.
Maybe it'll be like how they have that rare camel mount. Maybe it'll be a rare alpaca mount.
Yeah, we also have 2 turtles, which is probably it's going to be related to that. Several different blood troll icons, a couple different pieces of armor and stuff. Those are pretty crazy. Butterflies, and yeah, I don't know. They all look pretty cool to me. I'm kind of in. There's a few. There aren't really the ones that really like. This is intriguing and interesting and like whoa. It's the camel. That's really about it.
The one that jumps out to me is this one right here. Bronzebeard or Brand or whatever this guy's name is. Magni Bronzebeard, right?
Yeah, Magni. Yeah, I wonder why he's an icon, but I don't really know.
Probably, I'd imagine it might be something for like the Heart of Azeroth.
Yeah, it could be like. We also have some new assets for Warfront.
Just mission icons?
Yeah.
More, more of your favorite stuff, the table missions.
It's probably what it's going to be. But these are for Warfronts. I think this is probably like the different troops that you can select. You can probably pick like a scout, it looks like, then a stealth troop, and then a warrior and a healer. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, and then here's the throwers. What? How do you say it? Throwers? I can't even.
Yeah, Ross.
Tharos. Yeah.
And then the map for that. Isn't that cover? Is that all current news this week?
I believe that. Well, that's all BFA, right?
Well, then you know what time it is. Time to talk about current WoW news. Woo. This week was Children's Week. If you missed it, or if you don't know what Children's Week is, you basically get to go around and do a ton of fun stuff with a bunch of children, NPCs, or pets. They are basically just companion pets, and you show them a bunch of stuff. Did you do Children's Week this week?
I did a little bit of it, but I don't think they added any new pets or anything, did they?
Nope. Yeah, I did not add anything.
Yeah, so I did a couple missions, and then I joked around with my guild saying, "Oh man, I can't wait to battle with my kid," or stuff like that. And then I haven't done anything since.
Children's Week is one of those I think less observed WoW holidays. It's been in the game forever, but I don't think a lot of people really don't do it. Also, this week is Dark Moon Fair. I actually think I'm going to do Dark Moon Fair this week, unless I already missed it.
No, it started yesterday, so you have plenty of time. And anybody that's not exalted with their reps should probably go and do it.
I'm going to do Dark Moon Fair this week. That's a good point, actually. If you're planning on trying to get Nightborn or something before BFA, which I do suggest, make sure to get the rep carousel buff and then farm your rep. That's very important. I will try to do Dark Moon Fair this week because I was going there with a friend who was trying to get some Allied Raid stuff because I hadn't been there in a while, and there's a ton of stuff there that I didn't know about.
Yeah, and they also have they came out with it not too long ago, but there's this boss that spawns in a cave, and he dropped transmog items.
Yeah,
so he drops like a cage for your hem or your helmet slot you can use. And then I think he also drops one more item. I forget what it is.
There was a racing game that I hadn't even played yet, so I think I'm going to do it this week and actually try it. We also have the Mythic Dungeon Invitational. That's what keeps them going on. Do you follow the Mythic Dungeon Invitational? In fact, a lot of people in my guild follow the Mythic Dungeon Invitational. Can you give us a lowdown on what's sort of been happening with that?
This week is the NA week. So basically, they're all fighting for the final spots right now, and then I'm not too sure what's happening after that. I'm not sure if they're like playing at BlizzCon or if it's going to be its own separate thing.
Okay, interesting. I don't know. It's been a sort of slow week as far as like there hasn't been a ton of stuff happening in current game. I mean, this is obviously the mid expansion sort of slump that we're going with, a short slump, but a slump nonetheless. I'm kind of interested to see where we sort of, if anything else happens in between now and Legion or now in BFA. But I expect really not that much. I mean, the Mythic Dungeon Invitational has done a pretty good job of keeping the game pretty lively, but other than that, not a lot.
You haven't been watching any of the Mythic Dungeon Invitational?
It doesn't appeal to me. I don't know what it is.
Oh man, they got
esports guy.
They got some crazy pulls. You should just watch like a run or two.
Yeah.
Because they pull like 20 to 30 mobs at once. So it's just, it's nuts.
Yeah, certainly. And we sort of talked about the series. We started a couple weeks ago, and we hadn't really picked it up again. The Legion Retrospective series. So this is going to be an intermediate. Every few episodes, you might see it. So don't expect it every week, but this week is one of the weeks where we'll do our Legion Retrospective. We're going to be starting with Suramar questing, leading up to Nighthold. Did you do the Suramar questing? If you don't remember,
I did that shit when I first, one of my first things.
Direction. I didn't. I did the Withered Army training, and that was about it. I did a little bit, and I still don't have Balance of Power done, if you can believe it.
Yeah, you should probably get that done.
Yeah. But do you want to talk a little bit about the Suramar quest and how was that experience for you, I guess?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It gave me something to do when I didn't have anything to do in game, so.
Yeah, and I mean, it was pretty fun. It wasn't bad. it was it was really interesting because I think this was probably one of the maybe not the first expansion to do this, but it was an expansion that really emphasized like content to lead up to a raid. Like another expansion has just been like, okay, the raid is dropped, but this expansion is like a couple weeks before the raid, you have lead up to it with quests and stuff. And I think Surma was like our first real taste of that, and I think it was good questing if you did it week by week, but if you like kind of held off on it, it did become a slog if you tried to do it all at the same time.
Yeah, and there was it helped out with your artifact weapon a lot too.
Oh yeah, you got a ton of stuff from that. Also, what did you think about Nighthold itself as a raid? I really enjoyed Nighthold.
Yeah, I think Nighthold is one of the better raids.
I heard a lot of people say it's their favorite from this expansion, which I wouldn't agree with. I don't think Nighthold's my favorite raid from this expansion. We'll get to my favorite raid when we get to it, but it was fun. I think the difficulty, it had a good difficulty curve. There were definitely some really hard bosses in there. Keying in on Elisand, maybe
Botanist.
Botanist, yeah, I can't forget Botanist, and then Gul'dan. But those were again the last bosses. And what I did love about Nighthold was you had so many options for like what way to go. Now, sure, everyone did do Courtyard boss, followed by whatever it was, the bridge boss, followed by whatever Starger. But you had so many options. You could have done it in any order. Just people didn't. But I really loved the amount of choice you had there, because it really meant that you could have it your way, Burger King.
Yeah, I know it helped out my guild a little bit when we were working on progression, because we're like, well, it's our first night, so we should go get the farm bosses down and then come back and hit this guy.
And I remember like sometimes we might have been having some troubles with the boss, so we're like, okay, let's try progressing on a different boss first, and it just helped. It reinvigorates you to actually have so many options for progression, and I wish more raids would do something like that, because I mean, I think it's probably the only raid in Legion with that many, well, other than Emerald Nightmare, it was probably the only other raid in Legion to have that many options for like what order you want to do bosses in.
Yeah, and I think the boss design in there was pretty good too.
Yeah, top notch. Again, there was a decent amount of variation between like inside, outside, different kinds of boss arenas. It felt a lot of stuff felt really fresh.
Yeah. What was your favorite fight in there?
Favorite fight in there? Okay, got to keep in mind at that time I was DPSing, so my favorite fight was probably the bridge boss. Croc
Really?
Yeah, because it was just fucking spank as hard as I can.
I think that boss is pretty damn boring. But
but that was like my show off boss. That or Botanist. I really enjoyed Botanist because I didn't have to heal it.
Just spam AoE and you
win. If
I
was healing Botanist, I wouldn't like it. But as a monk, 3 target AoE has always been monk's win, right? So yeah, I really like that.
I really liked Star Augur in Nighthold. I think that's probably my favorite boss, like out of this entire expansion.
Still to this day, I don't understand Star Augur. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do on that boss.
What do you mean?
What? I get confused. I'm just like, oh, I gotta run out of fire now. What the fuck? I gotta look away?
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. And then you're supposed to stack up for, like, the ice meteor or whatever the hell it was.
It's interesting that you bring up artifact power. Like, I was good to do the pre-quest for it, because this was when you started to really see guilds, at least my guild and a lot of other guilds, start to institute requirements. I know it was really big. It was really big, basically, like race for concordance. I think it's what we called it. What it was called at the time. Like to have as many ranks as possible in that. A lot of guilds were looking for like 36 traits, which was the max.
Yeah.
Was your guild pushing for that, or did you feel like you had a lot of pressure on you? Because there was, for me personally, there was a ton of pressure.
I mean, I played my Deathknight pretty steadily, so I didn't really have an issue with that. But I know a lot of people that didn't go out and do their world quests or do the Suramar shit or anything like that, they had issues.
Yeah, I only did world quests. That's my artifact grind. That's where I did my artifact power, and it was a lot of time spent. I'm gonna give you that. It felt worth it at the time, But looking back, I'm not really a fan of how the whole concordance and how the whole artifact grind is, because it was at the time it wasn't bad. But looking back, I just feel like that was wasted time.
Wasted time.
Because it's like I could make a character now and get 20 artifact levels above where I was at that point in 5 minutes.
Yeah, so you're saying you shouldn't even farmed any artifact power back then?
I mean, of course I had to, but I feel bad about it looking back at it. Like I feel like I wasted my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I know that
you're gonna be playing
time,
anyway, right? So
yeah, exactly.
what's the big deal? I guess.
Did you do Mythic Plus farming? Because that was when the whole like farm Maw of Souls 20 times thing was really happening for the high end guilds. Did you do any of that stuff?
Oh yeah, man. I still do Mythic Plus farming on my Paladin mostly.
Yeah, I was not doing Mythic Plus at that time still. I brought this up last time we talked about this, but I didn't really do Mythic Plus until...
Because you're a noob.
Sargeras. Yeah, sure, let's call it that. But this was when like Mythic Plus farming was crazy. At that time, you would get the same amount of artifact power for any dungeon, which meant that people would just farm the fastest dungeon, which was
Maw of
Souls, yeah. Although
and nobody would run Halls of Valor.
Yeah, it's like that was a smart choice to change that, because that really was a problem, I think.
It definitely was. I agree that was a good change on their part.
Yeah.
And now Maw of Souls is just like I avoid Maw of Souls if I can.
I mean, it's really a sucky dungeon. Like, it's fine. It's just that it's kind of hard, and I don't really know if it's worth it.
The second boss is a pain in the ass, so if people don't know what to do, you're probably going to wipe a couple times.
Definitely. Although, of course, now it's much nicer to wipe now than it was before, because, like, before, if you didn't make the timer, you burnt your key. But now it's not like that, so it's much less serious.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, like, I used to know people who'd rage if you messed up on a key. Now you don't really see that as much. Like, still,
yeah,
of course,
you're not talking about me, are you?
What? No, I'm not. But you don't really do that. You don't really see that much anymore since the changes to the Mythic Plus system, I think, which I think they were all positive. We'll talk about that when that actually happens chronologically. We also had Gul'dan progression. Now, how long did it take you guys to kill Gul'dan? I don't think we were raiding at that point together.
Oh, God.
Because it took the guild I was in a while. Gul'dan was a hard boss. I had to actually do call-outs for that boss. I enter every now and then. I'll be called upon to do raid call-out. And that was one of those bosses.
Yeah. I think it took our guild a lot longer than it should have, because we had...
Yeah. That boss was a bitch to progress, and it was a bitch to do call-outs for, because it was a 12-minute boss. At the DPS point that at least my group was at, it was a 12-minute boss, which just meant that, like, even if you were, especially the worst part of it was like the last 10% of that boss progression, because like every pull would take you 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you do 6 pulls, like, and next thing you know,
that's an hour. Yeah. It's like if you're raiding for like 3, I don't know, what do I raid for? Like 3 hours, something like that. Something about 3-hour raiding schedule. Which isn't very serious. I understand that we're not serious like rating schedules at least, but like a 3-hour rating schedule, that means you're at most going to be getting 18 pulls in on the boss.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about a hard progression boss like that takes you 50 pulls on heroic, we're not. Of course, if you're in a more serious guild, that's not an issue. But if you're talking about a boss that takes you 50 pulls, you can only do 18 a night. That's weeks of progression.
Yep.
It's really, and that's just what it came down to. And even at the mythic level, people were having trouble with it. It took Method forever to get that boss down. It might be. Yeah. It might have. I don't know.
I think Kill Jaden was a harder boss, though.
Kill Jaden was a harder boss, but only by a little bit. And I think the only boss that was harder than Gul'dan was Kill Jaden in this expansion. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. But on my guild, we had a bit of drama happening, so like halfway through the Gul'dan progression, 10 people ended up leaving the guild, and
Yeah, it's just head bust.
And then it turned into a race of not trying to get Gul'dan down, but trying to get it down before the other people that left the guild.
Yeah. I know we were talking bad about this. I think it was a good fight. You know, it wasn't like a Kill Jaden where there were mechanics that if one person messed up, the entire raid messed up. Overall, it was a challenging fight, but I think it was pretty fair. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good fight. And didn't it? Yeah, it wasn't like Kill Jaden where if one person screws up, you're fucked. So that's always nice.
Yeah, and the last thing we're going to talk about in the Legion perspective is sort of beginning of the Broken Shores. Now, we actually had to do a quest line or scenario to start the Broken Shores, and the quest line was surprisingly hard. I don't know if you remember it, but I remember actually on my DPS character, I was having a little bit of trouble with it because like shit hit hard during the scenario, and I think they ended up nerfing it because they overtuned it. Do you remember that? The opening of the Broken Shores.
That's the island, then, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I really had an issue with that.
Okay, maybe I'm just bad at this video game. I don't know.
Probably.
But anyway,
it might depend on the class you're playing too. I think the Deathknight had more armor.
And you did a little scenario, and it didn't take you that long. And then you opened up the Broken Shore, and there were a ton of world quests. It's also where we got introduced to the Mage Tower, and that was really awesome at first. We'll talk about the Mage Tower next time we bring up this segment, but just to get your lips watering at that.
Yeah, I fucking hated the Mage Tower.
Without further ado, everyone's favorite segment
Segma.
that I would say it has. You probably have to do the Mage Tower to do it right. We have the transmog segment.
We sure do, don't we?
This week, have let's see. I think 3 of my guildies submitted, and then of course me and Ro. Now, do we want to start with? Let's start with me, if you have the picture ready. Nope, that's not me, but we'll start there. That is my friend Crimson, sporting a stylish green look. Obviously, the theme this week, if you didn't remember, was Fell, so he has a Fell Reaver with him, of course. Classic Crimson, and I think I like this look. I think the daggers work. He picked a good place to take the picture, which means he actually probably had to do Hellfire Citadel for this. The shoulders are from Tanan Jungle. I'm not sure about the tabard. The helmet's from Tanan Jungle too, I think. I like this look. What do you think?
I think that helmet's from Cataclysm, isn't it?
Yeah, I think your picture's more zoomed in if you want.
Let's see.
I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of this look. Oh no, I think the tabard is from Legion.
That tabard?
Yeah, if you're wondering why this is so good, I did help him, set this look up. We brainstormed a little bit. I think it works. I really like it though. I'm a fan. I like the daggers. I think the daggers definitely match the theme. I would have liked to see the fire picked up somewhere else, but I don't really think you have an option for that. I think it all really works. The green on the boots is a little bit off, though. The boots are a little bit off to me. Do you feel that?
Nah, I think it all blends well together.
Okay, it's fine. He picked this as a really smart move. He took the screenshot in front of something really green to like trick your eye.
Yeah. All right, and then we have. Are you at the Tauren then?
No. That Tauren is CERN. He submitted to the show before. In fact, he's won the contest before with his Easter transmog. The classic Tauren.
Yeah, it looks like them Taurens out there in High Mountain, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I think one of his knives is off, the golden-y, Titan-y knife. I'm not sure why that is. I guess it's sort of like the Legion idea, because there is a lot of Titan influence in Legion. I think the other knife really works with his shoulders. He has the right face paint on. That's crucial. A lot of people forget to change the face paint for High Mountain. The one thing he does, his beard hanger is the wrong color.
I mean, yeah, but he can't change that color.
You can just get rid of the beard hanger. I don't know. The belt and the pants are a little bit off. There's a few problems with this mug, okay? If I'm being honest, the gloves are wrong.
I like this one overall.
You know what, Ro? You like everything.
And then we have, is this yours then, the panda?
No. The panda, that's, you can read the name. It's Ping. Um, we got a couple angles for this. This is classic fell. I like the helm on this. The shoulders work. It's actually very varied where these things come from. I think they work pretty well in tandem. I wish the green from the weapon, well, I guess green from the weapon is kind of picked up on the helm, but I wish it was picked up in other locations, if you feel me.
Yeah, I like this one. I think I like this one the most. Better than the Tauren one.
I think I like it more than the Tauren one. I might like it better than Crimson's too. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go with yes, just because I feel like with Crimson's, it's like this one's a little bit more. It's a lighter green, and I think this one has a little bit more life to it. This is mine. Oh, you switched away from it. We can go to mine, the winner. I'm
the
wearing,
winner.
Yeah, I'm wearing the helm and the chest piece are from the Warlock set of this raid. The staff is Gul'dan's staff. The shoulders are from Mop. The gloves and belt and boots are from random stuff. I really like this one. I also got a back look so you can see the staff. I'm really a fan of this mog. I think it's the winner for many reasons.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
It just screams Burning Legion to me. And I have the Gul'dan staff. Okay, well, let's see your submission if you're so sure.
Well, I'm not too impressed with mine. I don't know. I couldn't really come up with anything.
Really? Do you not have one? Are you submitting to me winning?
Oh, that's what I came up with. What do you think?
You know, it could be worse.
Is that the only opinion you have? Well, I think we may have lost Dab. Well, that's a shame. Oh, you're back?
Yeah, I think
I was about to say we weren't going to be able to have a winner, so it would have defaultly gone to me.
Yeah, no. It could be worse. The shoulders don't work. The helm doesn't work. None of it works. I win. Thank you for coming.
What?
This has been Raid Radio. I can't wait to see you all next week.
What?
Same time, same place. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, comment, like, do it again. If you're on Twitch, make sure to drop us a follow. You can catch us every week at Sunday, starting at 4 Eastern Standard Time, assuming we don't mess it up. Is there anything else I missed there, Ro?
No, I think that's it. And yeah, just give us a subscribe on YouTube and follow us. Oh, what's the next transmog?
The next transmog competition.
Yeah, what's the theme?
Ancient. Old.
Like, what do you mean?
Figure it out. I don't know. I have a Morgan idea. Like cool old, like something that ancient. Just go with ancient. You'll figure it out. I trust you'll figure it out.
Oh, all right. Well, I think that's it for this week then. Yeah.
That's it for this week. We'll see you all next week. Thank you for having us. Or thank you for coming.